What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. The MMA community is absolutely letting ESPN have it after a recent post they made about Jon Jones. On social media, ESPN praised Jones for having the second longest undisputed heavyweight reign in UFC history, writing, "Jon Jones officially has the second longest undisputed heavyweight reign in UFC history at 785 days, behind only Cain Velasquez's reign of 896 days from 2012 to 2015. Jones is one step closer to having the longest title reign in two different weight classes. Legendary. On the surface, it might sound like a normal celebration of a fighter's achievements, but for many MMA fans, it completely missed the mark. The main problem people had: Jon Jones has barely fought since 2023. In fact, he's only fought twice in that time, making him one of the least active champions the UFC has ever had. So when ESPN framed it like Jones has been this unstoppable defending champion, the MMA community couldn't help but fire back hard. One fan even joked about ESPN's post by calling out the inactivity, saying, "ESPN MMA's newest admin, Dana White." Another person added, "This is actually a terrible flex. Jones has one title defense against the ghost of Stipe while still ducking the interim champ." That comment pretty much sums up the frustration. Yes, Jones technically holds the belt, but many feel he hasn't done nearly enough to deserve such praise. Another user didn't hold back either, writing, "Well, when you fight only once every 2 years, how is this not from a burner account?" The sarcasm kept coming, with someone else noting, "One title defense in over 2 years against a retired Stipe. That's it, with 2 fights in the last 4 years. Bro is reigning? He's nesting." The criticism just kept piling up. One comment read, "Wow, 25 months. He must have fought 5, maybe 6 times, right?" What? 2 times. 2 times in over 2 years. Another fan pointed out the obvious, saying, "When's his next fight?" Oh, it's not scheduled. More frustration came from people who think Jon Jones is hurting his own legacy by not staying active. One fan flat out said, "Jon Jones needs to retire, fight Aspinall, or give up the heavyweight title. He's becoming a joke." Another user even pulled out the classic line from The Dark Knight, saying, "You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain." The outrage wasn't just about Jones himself, but also the way ESPN framed the whole situation. Fans called it shameless and ridiculous, with one saying, "Celebrating being inactive for years at a time. Wow, so amazing." Another added, "You realize how ridiculous of a post this is, right, ESPN? Pretty easy when you don't fight." Some were so baffled they thought the post had to be fake, with comments like, "Thought this was a parody account. I had to do a double take." And to top it off, someone joked again, "Dana, log off the ESPN account, bro. You ain't fooling anyone." It's clear that fans aren't just mad at Jon Jones for his lack of activity. They're frustrated with the way major outlets like ESPN are still trying to spin his career like he's an active, dominant champion. Until Jones steps back into the octagon, fights a real contender like Tom Aspinall, or even just defends his belt again, it looks like a big part of the MMA world isn't ready to celebrate anything he's doing. In fact, they're getting louder and more fed up by the day. Before we continue, subscribe and click the bell icon to help support the channel. Tom Aspinall recently opened up and shared some really personal and tough news about his health. And honestly, it's something that gives you a lot of respect for what these fighters silently go through behind the scenes. Speaking directly and very honestly, Tom Aspinall said, "This is a bit of an exclusive to the channel. As professional athletes or fighters for sure, we don't like to speak about stuff that's holding us back. Injuries, illnesses, all that kind of stuff. But this year, I have actually been ill more times than I've ever been ill in my life, and we're in April." Hearing that from someone as tough and competitive as Tom really hits you, because you realize how much pride fighters have in never showing weakness. Yet here he was, being completely real with his fans. Tom explained that before Christmas, he caught some kind of virus, and ever since then, he's been battling it on and off. Tom Aspinall said, "I got an illness like a virus before Christmas, and basically I've had it on and off since." had a couple of courses of antibiotics and stuff like that. It wasn't just the usual seasonal cold or flu either. What he's been dealing with has been way more serious and persistent, and it forced him to dig deeper into what's happening with his body. Tom Aspinall said, "It has made me look in depth medically with what's going on because I keep picking up viruses." Usually Tom said he might get sick once a year, maybe just a simple head cold, but this time it's been different. Tom Aspinall said, "I've been like really ill, bedbound a couple of times. I've had ringworm quite a few times and other minor skin infections and stuff like that. These aren't the kind of issues you expect a top-tier athlete to deal with frequently, and it's especially alarming because things like ringworm and skin infections often happen when the immune system is weakened." It didn't stop there either. Tom Aspinall said, "I've had sinusitis, I've had strep, this has come up in my results as well. I've had a fever plenty of times and stuff like that, and just aching body and all the rest of the flu-like symptoms that have been going on for like 4 months now." You can tell from how he describes it that it's been a relentless, exhausting battle with his health, one that just doesn't seem to let up. Even though fans have been wondering why Tom hasn't been super active in recent months, after hearing this, it really puts things into perspective. Tom Aspinall said, "Even though I've not been active, looking back, it's probably a pretty good job that I haven't been active because I haven't been functioning at 100% for a while." It's one of those moments that reminds you just how human these fighters are. On the outside, we see these larger-than-life warriors stepping into the cage, but behind the scenes, they're battling silent wars with their own bodies. This news definitely changes the way you view Tom Aspinall's recent inactivity, and more importantly, it shows a level of honesty and vulnerability that fans rarely get to see. Here's hoping that Tom gets the answers and treatment he needs so he can come back stronger, because the sport feels a little less complete without him at full power. A legendary chapter is coming to a close. Dustin the Diamond Poirier has officially announced that his upcoming bout against Max Blessed Holloway at UFC 318 will mark the final fight of his illustrious MMA career. Poirier, a fan favorite and one of the most respected fighters in the sport, leaves behind a legacy built on heart, resilience, and unforgettable battles inside the octagon. Over the course of a 15-year career, he captured the interim lightweight title, faced some of the toughest names in the game, and earned a reputation as a true warrior, someone who never backed down from a challenge. Now, the journey comes full circle as he prepares to face Holloway once again, a man he defeated in a thrilling showdown back in 2019. With both fighters known for their incredible toughness and striking prowess, fans are expecting nothing less than a war for the ages. Dubbed the last dance for the Diamond, this moment promises to be emotional not just for Poirier, but for MMA fans around the world. One final walk, one final fight, and a chance for Poirier to write the perfect ending to a legendary career. UFC 318 is set to be unforgettable. Will the Diamond shine one last time?